Okay, today we're back over at the Buena Park catio project. Remember, the catio is outdoor space for an indoor cat. And we're getting ready to plumb up some posts so we can install our screens. We're also going to be building our side walls with those posts, and we're going to be putting down some of the screen window sills. And we're going to show you pretty good detail on how we're going to put a bevel on our window sills so when the rain comes it can drip off. We're also going to show you the bottom of it with a professional installed drip edge, so when rain-driven water comes over and starts hitting our wood and coming down our screens, that it has a place to actually drip off and not cause damage to the interior of the wall cavities. Instead of me explaining it to you here, why don't we go take you to the project and we'll show you hands-on exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so I'm working on getting some posts over here off the back side to hold up this header and to fit our screen material. But I came to look at these posts here and they're not plumb or level. So if you want to take a look at how much this is off, you can see where my bubble is now. Hopefully you can see that in the camera. And as I go over here, it's literally about an inch off and 5 foot. Now I'll take you over to this post. I already fixed this one to be plumb. You can see the bubble there. It's nice and plumb. But if you look up here, you can see how much I had to move this post over. So whoever built this patio cover did not use a level to make sure everything was perfectly aligned. So I'm going to be able to take some screws out. There's screws up here on that one over there that I'll take out. I'll plumb it up and I'll go ahead and get some heavy duty Simpson strong tie screws in there, which should have been used in the first place. Okay, so now that we've got our posts in over here on this block wall, they're not quite 3 foot on center, which is what our screen is, but what we did was evenly spaced them to fit properly so it had an even look. So we'll have to just cut down our screen material to about 30 inches a piece. I think that's what it ends up being. One of the things that we're getting ready to do right now is stick this ledger or a board up against the stucco to finish off our 4x4 posts, but it's just going to be a 2x pressure treated lumber. And we're going to attach it right underneath this eave, and then we're going to finish off this side first with all of our wall detail down here. We're going to keep it the same height as this block wall, and because the concrete slopes, it'll get a little bit smaller by the time it gets over to the stucco on the house. And you can see where my hammer's at. We're leaving that open because that's where the screen door is going to sit. And we're going to have the identical wall over here on this side. One of the issues that we just found out, though, is this roof rafter here goes in about 3.5 inches. So you can see where the roof was actually cut, the fascia board up top. The fascia board was cut, but I still think that was 1.5 inches off. So we're going to probably get something right over here to make it all plumb, and then we'll finish off this roof properly, because we want to make sure when we do our wall over here on this side, when we get our wall taken care of on this side, that everything's plumb and level. If not, especially when we got this screen door on, it's going to slam shut all the time. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be sitting 3.5 inches out of plumb. We don't want that. So we're going to finish up this side over here first, and then once we get done with that, we'll show you exactly how we're going to take care of this other side. All right, let me show you what our next step is. We got our cripples down below with our little sill plates, and it's all level with that block wall. And now I'm going to do the finished cap on it. So if you can see, I've got a 2x8 over here. And if you look real closely at the top, I've got it evenly spaced from the center and an 1.5 inch notch to fit around this 1.5 inch piece of lumber. And then I'm going to leave this part on for a sill and this on the inside for a sill, because remember, this is going to be all screen set up on the inside here. It's all going to be screened in, so we have to make sure we divert the water, not if it comes in, but when it comes in. So I'm going to be notching that one out for this side, and then if you see, I got that one notched out for the 4x4 to be notched out around this guy here. The other thing I'm going to be doing, let me take you over to my table saw. So I'll be using the jigsaw to help finalize these fine cuts over here, but I'm also going to be cutting this on a bevel, on a slope like a windowsill, so when water does come and land on here on the outside, it'll have a slope so it can drain out. And then at the very bottom, I'm going to be putting a notch in here, probably like an 1/8 inch notch, all the way down this whole piece of wood. That way, when wind-driven rain comes, it gets underneath, it has a place to escape. It's not get blown into the outside or of the siding. So I'll show you this detail when I'm done, and then you'll see that each one of these, I got all these bays that I'm going to individually cut, custom cut, and manufacture to go around, and then I'll finish up this side. But let's get this other side done first, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'll show you how we're actually planing down to make our drip edge. So we already ran it through the table saw, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull that edge up. And now you can see how we've got that nice 10-degree bevel here, so when water from the outside comes down and hits, it'll drain. We're going to do the other side. You can watch us do this side, and then we'll actually install our drip edges on the bottom. Okay, so watch us. Now we're going to set up and do our rain drip. All right, so we redid our saw to be 1/4 inch tall and 1/2 inch wide, and that'll bring this in 1/2 inch on our board. Now we got to make our groove a little bit wider, so we're going to go ahead and shift this over about the 1/16 of an inch, and we're going to run it through one more time. Okay, so now if you look at the bottom of our board, we've got a nice little drip edge, so when this is actually sitting on our window sill and the rainwater comes down and hits it, it's going to drip down, but wind-driven rain will get pushed underneath here, but when it hits this, it won't jump over, it'll end up falling down. So just like a drip edge on a roof, you want a drip edge for your wood sill too. This way rainwater can't get inside of your exterior siding. We also did it on the inside because remember, this is a screened in catio, and wind can get through the screen, and we want it to do the same thing, drip down the side of the edge instead of getting behind our wall and inside of our wall and rotting it out in the future. Okay, we're going to show you how this fits in the corner over here once we make our other template or our other real final piece of wood, and we'll join them both together and we'll see how good that turns out. All right, give us a couple of minutes, we'll have that set up. All right, so we made some of our top plate sills, and you can see how we beveled this so rain can drip, and we basically made it 3.5 inches thick, And we beveled it on both sides. Let me take you underneath, show you our rain drip right here. That goes all the way through. And we're doing this one this is a square cut. And then over here, we do a 3.5 by 3.5 inch cut to fit around the post. And then this one here again, square cut. And then this one gets the post cut. And then we 45'd them, so when the screen door goes on, you're not gonna bang your knee or get hit on the end of a sharp corner, 90-degree corner. Now our tricky one is over here in this corner. So this post has been here for probably 20 years plus. So we made a pattern out of cardboard. This side over here is going to get a 2x10. This side here is getting a 2x8. So we have to make sure everything lies out properly. And so when we did our measurements, you can kind of see how we're off on our post. We're not totally square, the post is twisted a little bit. So we're making sure that all of our other angles are good. So you can see our 45 back over there in the corner. Our 45 looks nice. Nice miter 45 there. And then we got this one also, looks good. However, our gaps aren't right. So now we're gonna go to pattern number 2. And what we did is we compensated for all those gaps. Okay, so we got everything lined up. This is accommodating on the inside to match the 2x8 over here. And so this is what our angle is going to be like. And our 45 in the back still fits nice and pretty, but now it's wrapped around the post properly. All right, so hopefully this pattern is going to work. We're going to take you over here to our piece of wood that we're fabricating. And you can kind of see how this is not on a perfect angle because that matches the post where it's going to sit. And so all this is going to be cut to match that post. So once we're done with that, we'll dry fit it in and see what it looks like.